Next up, we'll hear from Nupur and Haley, who will show us another popular function, generating lessons from scratch. So with that, I'll hand it off to our next teacher, Nupur.
Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. My name is Nupur Arora. I am an educator with the Snoqualmie Valley School District. I have been teaching for 16 years, and for the last 5 years, I've been working as a math interventionist, working with elementary students, kinder through 5. So let's say today I want to find a lesson for my third graders. I want to teach them how to utilize the properties of operations as a strategy for solving multiplication and division problems. So I come to the colleague platform, and from the left side, from the options that I have, I'm going to select generate lessons. As soon as I click that, this page pops up where there are these multiple fields that need to be filled out. I'm going to start from the right-hand side, and I'm going to select the subject math. I'm going to select grade 3 because this is for my third grade students. And the learning standard, if I happen to know it from the top of my head that it is 3.0A.B.5. But when I click in that field, all the standards pop up. And even if I don't remember what that standard is, if I hover close to it, a description box pops up, which gives me exactly what that standard is. So I'm going to go all the way down to 3.0A.B.5. Now, if you look at this standard actually encompasses multiple properties. It's got the associative property, the commutative property, the distributive property. But I want to focus just on the associative property today. So even though I will choose this standard, I will be very specific when I am describing my learning objectives. I will just focus on the associative property so that the colleague knows exactly what to generate. So having selected the standard, I will then select my state, which is Washington. And then I will come to the learning objectives field. There I will write students will be able to utilize the associative property of multiplication as a strategy to multiply and divide and solve problems. And I want the title of my lesson to be very concise and mirror what the learning objective is. So I will say, using the multiplicative property, multiply using the associative property of operation. So having filled in all these fields, now I am ready to have Claire draft a plan. So I click on the purple box on the bottom, draft a plan, and lo and behold, within seconds, there's a lesson plan that comes up, mastering multiplication, the associative property in action. It's got all the components of a lesson plan. It's got the learning objectives, the materials, warm up, the explain, reinforce, and cool down. So I've got all those elements of a lesson plan. And as you can see, even though the standard 3.0A.B.5 had multiple properties, we just got a lesson plan for one particular property, which is the associative property. So that's a great feature of Colleague, and it really helps me. This is a great jumpstart for me to be able to tweak it some more. Now, being a math interventionist, oftentimes I need to differentiate it. I am not just limited to one particular lesson. So I utilize Achieve the Core as a resource frequently. In Achieve the Core, I can see the vertical progressions. I can see how the standard aligns with the standards above and below it. So using those vertical progressions is really helpful because I can look at some of the verbs such as apply, review, explore, and use that verbiage when I come back to the colleague platform, and I use that verbiage to generate more lessons. This is an iterative process. I can generate multiple lessons and all of them get housed in the My Documents folder. where they are sitting as a draft. So as you can see, multiply using the associative property of operation, that draft gets created. Now, once I like this lesson, then I can go in and I can modify it some more, tweak it to meet my needs. And our next panelist, Haley, is going to be elaborating some more on that aspect. Back to you, Janie.
Excellent. Thanks, Nupur. I'll pass it off to Haley for our next demo.